When darkness seems to reign, where are you now? When the world is crumbling, oh, I hear you say, look up, child, hey, hey, look up, child, hey. Where are you now? When all I feel is doubt. Oh, where are you now? When I can't figure it out. Oh, I hear you say, look up, child. Hey, hey, 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 look up. You're not dreaded by the war. You're not shaken by the storm. I know you're in control. And even in a suffering, isn't nothing can say it. I know you're in control. Oh, I hear you say, look out, child. Hey, look out, child. Hey, look out, child. Hey, look out, child. Hey, and you're not trying by the wall, you're not shaken by the storm. I know you're in control. And isn't he not suffering? Isn't nothing can say it? I know you're in control. Oh, I hear you say, look up.
In the book of Matthew 21 and verses 22 says that if you believe, you will receive whatever you ask in prayer. Knowing the gifts that they possess, the talents that they have, you can impact someone and he knows something about him or her that he did not know, that they did not know, and this has been so great in me. Self-awareness, personal branding, and time management, confidence, boosting our confidence, and all these sessions has been so impactful in me. As we are becoming agents of change, change has to be evident within us. This is the God factor from our coach, Mr. Boniface. The God factor compiles everything that I have learned. This is because whenever Mr. Boniface led us through the sessions, he ended his words with the word of God. Hello guys, thank you and welcome here. This is Grace Maina, a student at the university, Machakos University in Kenya, pursuing Bachelor of Education Arts, and also a student at University School of Leadership.
Hello, good to be with you this great morning, evening. Maybe you're up in the middle of the night and we are joining with you. Again, my name is Tony Harris, chaplain with the University of Cincinnati Medical Center here in the US of A. Want to welcome all you to the Youth Empowerment Conference. And we're so glad that you are participating in this conference and that you're gleaning and you are taking the information and that you are making it useful for your life. I hope that the last session was beneficial to you. I asked you the question the last time we had concluded. Who do you think you are? We were speaking on the topic of purpose, and we were linking purpose with your identity. Who are you? And in explaining who are you, we were saying, what is your being versus what you do? So in defining your identity, you must come to the conclusion that you are somebody, but you have to define who you are separate from what you do. So I gave you the assignment to write down 5 I am statements. I am Kikuyu. I am Luau. I am Kenyan. These terms may define or put you in a category and help to define who you are, but I believe you are even greater than those groups that you may attach yourself. I am a football player is something that you do. And so I hope that you have listed those 7 I am statements as to who you think you are. And let those be reflective, that you may share them with one another, that you may gain insight as to who you are and whose you are. So we just want to conclude some thoughts on identity and purpose. And then we're going to move to the next subject, which is passion. Speaking of calling, I want to give you some tips and some tidbits to help you pursue your purpose and your calling in this conference. So let's pick up where we left off. I am creative. I am beautiful. I am smart. Those are some statements that you could have made in regard to who you are in your being. I am created in the image of God. I am special. I am humbled. So we find our identity sometime in things. We find our identity in people. Sometimes we find our identity in activities, and some even find their identity in their jobs or their occupations. Again, those are things that are separate from who you are as an individual. And the more you know who you are as an individual, then when the world begins to try to squeeze and mold and to shape you into that which is not of the plan for your life, you'll be able to make better decisions, wise decisions, based on understanding yourself, understanding who you are, who you was, and who you are being designed to be. Who you was, who you are, and who you will be. You are becoming the person that you are. Write that down. You are becoming the person that you are, in the sense you are becoming who you will be. And who you will be is different than the person you are today. Hopefully, 5 or 10 years from now, you will be a lot wiser. You will have many more experiences in life that will gain and give you some wisdom. You would have learned from others who have gone before you, and you will be a wiser person, a different person, maybe in 5 to 10 years than you are now, depending on who you are and understanding who you are and the environment that you are engaged in. Sometimes our environment helps to shape and to mold who we are as individuals. And that leads me to 2 thoughts about who you are in your character and who you are in your mind or in the mind of other people. Character versus reputation is what I want to speak to you in the conclusion of understanding your identity. What is character? Character is who you are when no one else is around. Character is born and shaped out of integrity. And so when we talk about character, we talk about having some ethics and some values, some mores, some things that you believe that are foundational to you as an individual. And many times those values and belief systems may come from a faith community. They may come from an academic community. It may come from your village or from your tribe, or it may come from your friends and those who are close to you. And as we begin to engage on a daily basis, these values, these things turn into convictions, and those convictions help shape and mold your character. So if someone told you to do something that was wrong or and that did not have your value system, because of the integrity that you have, you will not do the thing that someone else may ask you to do that is wrong. And so we must have a value system, an ability to know what is right and what is wrong, so that we can make decisions in our life. And the best decisions, and many of those decisions goes back to the commandments. You say, well, why do we have police in the world today? I believe that they come from a biblical standpoint where we talk about the commandments or the laws of Moses. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not covet, and all these things are based on, our laws today are based on the commandments, at least the 10 commandments in the Bible. And so we have laws because the law was given to one person whose name was Moses. And not many people will dispute the existence of Moses, whether you are religious or whether you believe the Bible or whether you don't. We know that these things are true and that history supports the evidence that these laws have come from that standpoint from Moses and the 10 Commandments. So your character is who you are when no one is around. How are you in your character? How are you developing your character? Remember, character must also be shaped and molded. A lot of times that character is shaped and molded by your parents and the home, the values that they have given to you and have passed on to you. Sometimes they can be good values and good things that they have taught you. Sometimes those things are not the things that we want to carry on into our life and into our generation. Not every parent makes the wisest choices all the time. So you must define and find out who you are that is distinguished from even your parents. You can take some great things that you have learned from them, but don't cast everything off. I remember talking to one of my leaders who helped to shape and to form my life, and as I was being tutored up under him for about 5 or 6 years, I remember him saying to me, he says, "Tony, you've learned from me what to do and what not to do." So even from our family value system, we can learn from our parents the good and the bad and the ugly. And we can say, I've learned what to do, but I've also learned what not to do. I've learned what to do and I've learned what not to do. And so you can look at society and say, man, I've learned what not to do because I don't want to follow in the same footpath. I don't want to fall into the same pit. I do not want to go down the same road that leads to that type of destruction. I'm going to take a different path, a path that leads to the right decision, the right way, and one that is more in line with the character that I have developed or my values. And so, but reputation is different than character. Character, again, is who you are when nobody else is around. You know, if somebody dropped some money on the ground, it was $100 bill, $1,000, you found it and you saw the individual drop it. Would you give that money back to them? Would you say, hey, excuse me, sir, ma'am, you dropped this money and I'm returning it to you? If you did that, you would do that out of your character. Some people may see it and say, wow, that is an outstanding citizen. They need to be rewarded for their character. And then you wind up getting a good reputation because you did something good. But reputation is what people think about you. Reputation is what people see. You can have an outstanding character and somebody can defame your reputation. You can have a good reputation and a horrible character. And so the whole goal here in understanding who you are and defining who you are as an individual is to have a character that no matter what this world tells you, presses upon you, you know who you are. You know the boundaries and the limitations that you have within yourself. You know your gifting, your talents, your abilities. You know your values, your convictions. And you hold on to those things because they will lead and guide you all throughout life. And they will make you a better person, if not bitter, if you don't hold to those values in the end. So how do you find out who you are? You must begin to analyze. You'd have to analyze and do a self-inventory or a self-evaluation. You must inwardly reflect on who you are when nobody else is around. We call it sometimes doing a SWOT analysis. SWOT, S-W-O-T. S stands for, what are your strengths? So you want to evaluate, what is my strength? What is it that makes me a stronger person to handle whatever I'm going through? What is it that's in me that maybe have been cultivated through my value systems or through my parents or through my academics or from those who have nurtured and poured into my life from my mentors? What is it that has been developed in me that has become a strength and an asset? So we talk about engaging life from a strength-based approach. And so you need to know what you're good at, what you do well, and then write that down. And then you want to look at the W, SWOT. W stands for, what is your weakness? When you have a weakness, it's okay to acknowledge your weakness. None of us in this life are perfect. None of us have it all together. We are on this journey. We are learning. We are making mistakes. We find out the right way. We correct it. And then we are better, if not made bitter, if we don't follow that conviction and the wise counsel that we have learned. So do we want to be better or bitter? I would rather be better. So we want to understand what our weakness is. A weakness can be turned into a strength if you understand what your weaknesses are. There are physical weaknesses. There are also weaknesses in our limitation. Not everybody can do the same thing, either physically or maybe even cognitively. But we can always strengthen our weaknesses by putting boundaries around them, putting resources around our weaknesses so that our weaknesses become a strength. Putting limitations there to say, you know what? That's not my strength. That's not my strong area. So I want to put a boundary there, or maybe I want to bring somebody else in to help me with my weakness. For example, let's say that language is not your strength, and language may be your weakness, and you find it hard to learn other languages. So what you may want to do is to go and grab somebody who is more fluent in a particular language that you want to learn, and you use them to strengthen your weakness. You have a weakness, but now you have strengthened that weakness, and by using that individual as a resource and a boundary and a buffer to your weakness. If you were lifting weights and you like going to the gym and working out, you might get what we call a spotter. A spotter is somebody who's going to help you. That spotter is going to help you lift a weight when you are too weak to push it up. The spotter then helps you, but the whole time you are getting stronger, you're getting better as the spotter helps you. And so it is with your weakness. When you put people around you and resources around you to strengthen your weakness, you're going to get stronger and you're going to learn from them. And by learning from them, you now have developed your weakness, and your weakness has now become an asset to you. And sometimes our weakness can become our strength because other people need to identify with our weaknesses. If we did everything perfect all the time, nobody would want to be around that kind of individual. We need to learn. We need to be students. We need to get help sometime, because it helps us to show how much we need one another. So some of us have weaknesses because it has been designed in your being to have that weakness, so that somebody who has that strength can connect with your life and help you become better. And together you walk together, and you two together become stronger. You become better as a community, and you become linked together, bound together, because of the relationship that was born out of your weakness. So not every weakness is there to make you feel bad or to make you feel inferior. Some of our weaknesses are there to help bring about community, because someone can do what we cannot do, and we may be able to do what someone else may not do. So you look at your strength. See how your strength complements somebody else's weakness, because we need one another in this life. And then in that, you find purpose. You find purpose, and you find that you're able to use the person that you are in your character, and by helping them, it helps to develop a reputation that brings honor to your family, that brings honor to your community, that brings honor to your friends and those whom you have been committed to make an impact on. By looking at your strength, looking at your weakness, and then SWOT analysis, SWO. So O stands for the opportunities. You need to look at your life, evaluate your life, and see what opportunities are there for you to improve. What opportunities are there for you, again, to help somebody else? What opportunities are there for you to be a resource or to gain a resource? So you want to look at the opportunities that are before you. If you are pursuing your purpose in life, opportunities come out of preparation. So in understanding who you are and your identity, listen to this, preparation, when your preparation meets an opportunity, it leads you to your destiny or your passion, your calling. When your preparation, some of you are in college right now. Some of you may have just come out of high school. Some of you may be in high school. But guess what? You are being prepared for an opportunity. And what you need to do is take the time to go through the process of defining and refining who you are. Refining who you are, so that when the opportunity comes, you are ready to explode and explore and to engage the opportunity and be successful in it, because you have been prepared as much as possible for the opportunity. And the thing about opportunity is you do not know when it's going to come, but you want to be ready if and when it does come. That, again, will lead you to your fulfilling or your calling or your passion, that thing that we're going to talk about in a minute, that you are placed on this earth to do. When your preparation meets your opportunity, opportunity leads to passion. Preparation leads to opportunity. Opportunity leads to your destiny or your calling. I hope you got that down. And so, your purpose in life is linked to your identity. You need to know who you are. You need to evaluate yourself. Reflect on your strength. Look at your weaknesses. Look at the opportunities that lie before you. Seek them out. Don't narrow down your opportunities. Leave your opportunities broad and wide. Don't think inside the box, but think outside the box. Let opportunities be able to expand you. May it take you to places where you have never gone before. Sometimes opportunities can be limited by our family. You know, there are many times when you're young and you have the idea of doing something that your family may not approve of. It sometimes limits your opportunity. There have been those students who say, you know what, I want to be a musician. I know you want me to be a doctor or a lawyer, Mom, but I really love music and I want to explore this music, and it has become a part of your identity and your purpose. And so to not do it is like you denying your purpose and denying who you are. And so, but sometimes parents, they may not see things the way that you see them. And sometimes they see things better than you see them, and they're actually telling you right. So, but you have to know yourself and understand that, and take the wisdom, take the insight that they give you and use it as a resource, as guidance, so that you can be prepared when the opportunity comes to fulfill your destiny or your calling or the passion that you have. So every now and then, someone may tell you, "Oh, you're not good at that." Well, guess what? Preparation can make you better. Michael Jordan, they say, was cut from his high school basketball team. Michael Jordan, the played for the Chicago Bulls. He was cut from, I think it was in the 9th grade, from his high school basketball team. Told him that he wasn't good enough to play basketball. Wow, really? He is one of the greatest basketball players that has ever lifted up a basketball, has ever played the game. So, but he prepared himself, he practiced, he conditioned himself, he worked on the things that he was strong at, The things that he was weak at, he put resources around him. He practiced. He got advice. He got coaching. He listened to people. And when the opportunity came for him to show up and to show out and to show his skill and ability, boy, did he do it. Boy, did he make those naysayers shame. And now he has a great legacy to go with all of that preparation, all of his strengths, his weaknesses, his opportunities. And the last thing in the SWOT analysis you want to evaluate is the threats. What are the threats that hinder you from achieving the person you want to be, from achieving the things that you feel that you are called to do in this life? What are the threats? That's the SWOT analysis. There are threats. A threat could be, I don't have enough money to complete college. So you evaluate the threat. And so then with the threat, just like you would do with your weakness, you would then say, what are some resources that can help me eliminate this threat? A threat is like a roadblock. A threat is like a barrier. But it can be a good thing if we know how to allow that threat to mold and shape us. If we listen to it, it makes us better. It makes us wiser. And what you go through and the threats that you go through, you'll be able to give advice to somebody else coming on behind you and say, you know what? I applied for this scholarship. Did you know that there was money over here? Did you know that you can do this, or you can travel there and go to school here? And guess what? We can eliminate those barriers to our studies. We can eliminate barriers to social injustice. We can eliminate barriers to your calling by also establishing resources, putting people in the right place at the right time to get the right results. Use those people, wise counselors, individuals who have gone before you. Learn from them, and then you will have gained a strength. You would have overcome a weakness. You would have looked for an opportunity. You would have evaluated the threats and then have made adjustments to those threats so that in your SWOT analysis, you can complete the goals that you have and you can become a better person in who you are and your being by that self-analysis. And so I want to now move on to passion. Passion is that leads us to our doing. Remember, we were just talking about purpose linked to being, to our being. But passion is now linked to our doing. We've done a SWOT analysis. We've evaluated who we are. You've had your 7 I am statements. You found out a little bit more about yourself and being reflective about that. You've examined your character. You looked at what other people say about you and your reputation, and you understand that character and values and convictions come out of those things that have shaped and molded me throughout my life, whether it be parents, whether it be school. And now you're ready to have an impact on society. In developing a passion, you're looking at the things that you're going to do to make a difference in this world. Dr. Martin Luther King said this. He said, if I can just help somebody, then I know that my living would not have been in vain. If I could help somebody, then I know that my living would not be in vain. You don't want your living to be in vain. You want to have an impact on this world. So you need a mission in life. And so we talk about having a mission statement. Every business has a mission statement. Churches have a mission statement. But many times individuals don't have a mission statement for their own lives. You need a mission statement for your life personally. Then you need a mission statement for your family. Let's say that you're married and you have a wife and a child. What is the mission statement for your family? You know, I use a biblical mission statement where it says, as for me and my house, we will serve God. And out of that mission statement, my values, my character, and everything that I do come out of that mission statement that keeps me focused, that keeps my family focused on why we're here on this earth, to help other people. My mission statement could be like this: to love the community, to love people, and to love the world. Then you say, well, how am I going to do that? By helping those in need, or by providing this particular resource to the world, whether it be water, whether it be medicine. And you say, you know what? I'm going to link my purpose, my passion, to water, to a resource, to books, to information, to teaching. And so you want to help somebody. And that was Dr. Martin Luther King. Nelson Mandela, the foundation, they had this thought as far as their mission: to contribute to the making of a just society by keeping alive the legacy of Nelson Mandela. That's an abbreviated version of their mission statement, but they have a mission statement that says to contribute to the making of a just society. Do you long for justice? Do you long for your country to be back on track? Maybe there's something in there in your passion and in your calling. How do you find your passion or your calling? And I'm glad you asked the question, because it can be a quite daunting task to know, what am I in this world to do? Sometimes people find their passion and their calling out of pain. Pain or painful experiences can lead a person to their calling in life or their passion in life. And just as pain can lead a person to their passion in life, positive experiences can also lead to a person's passion or calling in life. So we have painful experiences and we have positive experiences. And so we can use both of those. The prophets used to talk about, or God used to talk about, a prophet would say they would have a burden. Have you ever had a burden in your life to see something happen in this world? And you may be the only one with that burden, and that burden can be painful. It's something that drives you crazy. You get obsessed about it, and people think you're crazy because you care about this thing more than anybody else, and you want to see change happen. That becomes your passion. What is your passion? A passion is something. Think about this. What is it in this world that you could do that if you had all the money in the world, you would do it? If you had all the resources in the world, what would that thing be? If you had no limitations, no barriers, and you couldn't stop thinking about it day or night, and you may have had a skill set or an ability to do it, or you want to have an ability to do it, that can be your burden or that passion that is driving you out of a painful experience. Some people have become counselors because they have gone through traumatic experiences, and having received counseling themselves, they now want to help others who are in that same predicament. Many have become doctors because why? They have seen others go through pain, and they said, you know what, I want to help others. Or maybe they themselves have been in pain, and they broke an arm or broke a leg, and they listened to the doctor, and they were influenced by what they saw. And it created in them a desire. That desire could be a burden. That desire can be a positive thing. It could also be something that it came out of a negative experience. So everything that we go through in life is helping to teach us what to do and what not to do. But it takes time. A purpose and a calling in life takes time to develop. I'll give you an example. I have with me this Maasai shield. When I was in Kenya, we stopped off at Masai Mara, and where they sell the touristy type of shields, And I really like this shield. I love it. And I have the spears are downstairs. And so great symbol that reflects Kenya, the identity of Kenya. When you see the shield and the sword, the shield and the spears, it reminds you of your identity. It reminds me of the Kenyan experience and the identity of the people that I came to come into contact with and to connect with. But when you think about this shield, it speaks to us even more than just identity. This shield was formed out of a painful experience. If you look at it, the artwork that is displayed here is exquisite. It's absolutely beautiful. It's marvelous. It's gorgeous. But this shield was formed out of a painful experience. You say, well, how do I know that? Because of the hide. There had to be a sacrifice. There had to be a death in order of an animal. Maybe there was a death of a cow, maybe a lion, maybe a lamb. The death of some animal brought about this beautiful shield. And so we talk about our painful experiences in life. If we allow the process of our pain to shape and to mold us where we are better and not bitter, we can have something beautiful in our calling and in our purpose and our passion. The end result can be something beautiful if we allow our painful experiences to teach us. Whether your painful experiences from your past, maybe you weren't treated well in school. Maybe the kids joked and teased on you. Maybe even in college, you may be someone who doesn't seem to fit in, and it has given you a painful experience, and it is creating a type of death in the sense that it's limiting you. It's not giving you the full ability to express your potential. When something is dead, all it does is just lies there. It doesn't feel connected. It doesn't move and engage its environment. And sometimes we feel like that. We feel like we are dead on the inside, or sometimes we feel hopeless and we feel that my situation will never change. I will never get out of this problem. I will never get the opportunities that I seek. I would never gain the job that I really want. And all of these things become a painful experience. But if we examine ourselves, do that SWOT analysis, and if we understand, then what happens is we can allow these painful experiences to be turned into something beautiful if we go through the process. A lot of times we want the end result, but beauty comes in the process. Change happens in the process. Passion and purpose comes through the experiences that you are collecting right now. Those experiences that you're collecting right now, they are going to bring forth something beautiful out of your life. So I want you to be encouraged today as we talk about passion. There is something that you are put on this earth to do out of your being. Because you exist, there is something that needs to be done. Because of your being, there is a doing, but you are not the doing, you are the being. And because of who you are, you do what you do out of your integrity, out of your character, to gain that reputation, to have that mission. That mission will guide your life. So you need a mission statement, but you also need to have a vision. You need a mission statement that'll guide your life, but you got to have a vision. Nelson Mandela said this, and I'll leave you with this thought in this session. Nelson Mandela said this about vision. Vision without action is just a dream. Action without vision is just passing time. And vision with action can change the whole world, can change the world. Let me say that again. Vision without action is just a dream. Action without vision just passes time. And vision with action can change the world. I want you to change the world. I want you to change your world, to change your community, to change your village, your city, to change your family. But that change begins in you. The question is, who is it that can change you? You must reflect upon life, understand that there is an author to life, connect in that purpose, and you will find out who you are, whose you are, to have an impact on the world. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next session where we'll conclude some thoughts on passion, and then we will lead you to the people. 3 P's, purpose. The second P, passion. The third P, people. The people who need your passion, your calling in life. If you could help somebody, then your living would not be in vain. Thank you.